to the AI Edge for Enterprise Leaders. This is the show where we go beyond the buzzwords to have real conversations with leaders at the forefront of their industry about what's working, what's changing, and how AI is being used to drive results. I'm your host, Jakaya, CEO of Achieve and Believe Consulting, where we provide AI solutions to help improve your business outcomes. Today, we're diving into practical insights, real challenges, and honest perspectives on how AI is being used to shape your business and industry. Joining us today, we have Theresa Murphy, CEO of TMI Group. We'll dive in with our first question. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your role, your industry, company size, and how AI is showing up for you in your everyday work life, if at all?
Absolutely. I am the CEO of the TMI Group, which we opened. The company started in, actually, we're coming up on our 19-year anniversary. So it started January 31st, 2007. And I am the CEO from that space up until now. Just fast forward, we now have 87 employees in the TMI Group. We pretty much are a human resources consulting company that provides IT contracts for federal government, as well as compliance for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. We are a background screening vendor as well as a payroll vendor. We are now from 2007 up until 2026. Let me say that. A lot of things have changed within the company, and we also have transitioned. So we started as TAC staffing, where we were doing just only staffing on the administrative and the warehousing side. And since 2013, we transitioned into the TMI Group. So here we are. My role is also to pretty much work with, I have an operations director who pretty much fully runs the TMI Group. And then we have tiers under him. So we have several managers at the TMI Group with the 80 plus employees that we have. And by the end of this year, we plan to have probably add to about 30 or 40 more employees. So you have a payroll section. We have a payroll department. So we provide payroll services to companies. Mm-hmm. You have, which I'll get into that later on that AI side. And then you have the compliance piece. A lot of people think they don't need human resources until they get in trouble, particularly small companies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wait until something happens and they reach out to us a lot of times. And so we have companies that also will hire us because we have a la carte items. They may have a small HR department. They may need help with position management, compliance, employee relations, anything of that nature. We offer all of those services. And so my role is to continuously growing the company and transforming it into being pretty much my goal for this year is being a premier this year, not even next year, but this year, being a premier partner for the federal government. So.
Wow. Love to hear that. And congrats on your, I guess, work anniversary.
Yeah. Got a couple of weeks and it's coming up. So.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So what does a typical day as a CEO of this kind of industry, like what does that look like for you? If there is a typical day.
I mean, typical day. I mean, lay on the beach, drink a Mai Tai. No. I work with a typical day for me. I really don't have typical days at this point. So let me just back up a little bit. The typical days where I was more working in the businesses, then I juggled a lot of different roles. But now a typical day for me, I work on the businesses. So I am not in my business every day per se, because I have someone that actually runs the company. I just make sure that funding, there's a certain number that my operations director can approve when it comes to funding and things like that. I stay in the loop on opportunities. And as I said, I was actually foreseeing the project of us becoming a premier partner with the federal government. So on a day-to-day, I don't have a typical day because like today, I have a couple of things going on, but then tomorrow, I'll be on vacation for a week. And so I really don't have a typical day. The amazing part about where we are now in business and where I am in business, because I don't have a partner. This business was built from the ground up. And we don't have, coming from where we come from now, I don't have to be hands on every day. Okay. So my typical days do look a little different with having a full staff uh, over at the TMI group. So like I said, I may do Monday, full day, Tuesday, I may not have anything
Yeah.
I touch. But again, I am very much in the know because also I have a transportation company as well. And so we have semi tractors and we have dump trucks. So I also have with that company, I have a dispatcher and an admin who runs the day to day with that as well.
Yeah.
I'm more hands on with that, the transportation logistics company, than I am with TMI Group.
Mm,
So a typical day for that is us looking and see how we're going to continuously moving forward, maybe with contracts. Me reaching out to a lot of the people in the industry on the transportation side to see how we can continuously grow the business because trucking definitely changes from one day to the next. So
yeah.
my typical days are kind of mixed. There's no one set schedule. If
Got
that like today I have a day full of meetings,
Yeah.
and like I said, tomorrow I'll be on vacation, and so but I take my laptop everywhere I go. I take my laptop just in case I am needed. But I close a lot of deals till this day for the company. I still close a lot of deals.
Okay.
So
And how did you get into the industry or both industries? Because you're in trucking and then HR, it sounds, or if you would name that industry, like how did that start?
well, I got into HR because my career was in human resources. So prior to me starting my business, I worked in HR since I was 19, and I worked in HR for practically about 16, 17 years before I opened my business.
Mm,
So I had a lot of experience on the staffing side. Right before I left my government job, I worked for the state government, is the job that I retired from when I started my company. But I've also worked for Fannie Mae in Washington, D.C. I worked for D.C. Superior Courthouse. I've worked for Department of Treasury, Department of Mint. So I've worked for a lot of Department of State. So I work for a lot of federal government agencies on the HR side. And I have pretty much done a lot of roles in HR, implementation, position management. I was an HR manager right before I retired from the state government, working a 9 to 5. I was a personnel director with the state. So I have pretty much worked. I did employee relations for about 7 to 8 years. I've
yeah.
done recruiting. I was a corporate recruiter. So I've worked in a lot of different areas of HR. And so I took a lot of that knowledge and experience, and then I transitioned that into opening my business in 2007.
And what about as far as getting into trucking industry?
Well, getting into the trucking industry, I always say I got into the trucking industry by default because that was not something I was interested in.
Yeah.
So at the time, my ex-husband was driving trucks.
Yeah.
So when we met, he was driving trucks, and so that's how I got into that industry. And he was driving trucks. He had a truck, and then I kind of came in and learned the business maybe 2 years or so, and then we had maybe a, we had a I would call it a fleet because we had more than three or two
Yeah.
fleet of trucks, and so we got to like 5 trucks. We actually kind of diminished that business. We were partners together, and then from that space, I continuously to move forward in the transportation industry, and I opened up a CDL school.
Mm, wow.
So
I'm learning all these new things. I'm like, what?
yes. So I opened up a CDL school in Mooresville, North Carolina, where we provided CDL training for people to get their Class A and Class B.
Hmm.
And that again, and in the trucking industry, I'm now an approved vendor on the federal government side to do for the Department of Transportation. So now we actually will be doing contracts
Hmm.
with the federal government on the transportation and logistics side, as we do on the human resources consulting side. Um,
And did you have, like, for our viewers listening in who may want to get in this industry as well, like, did you have a mentor? Like, you were in the business, so did you have a mentor starting these things, or did you just kind of like, I don't know if, the internet was a thing back then, everybody does do it yourselves or like how to's with
no,
AI now. So that probably wasn't a thing 20 years ago. So
no.
how did you really get started?
So I did get started again, like by default, but I had no mentor. I did not have a mentor. I did not have a go-to person because I knew no one else that was in the industry. Because the thing about getting into the transportation and logistics industry, you have to learn all the compliance. And I tell everyone, you may own that business, but DOT runs your business.
Mm,
Okay, so you need to know, you have to learn a lot of compliance, and so with that, obviously, came failures and little dings from DOT. But I learned a lot on the way, and unfortunately, sometimes when it comes to like YouTube and Google and things like that, you have to piece things together sometimes,
mm-hmm.
right? So there's not one space that you can go to sometimes where you can learn everything you need to learn. And so what I started doing is facilitating webinars.
Mm.
So during COVID, I helped 87 people start trucking companies.
Wow.
And yeah, I facilitated webinars, how to start a trucking company from your kitchen table. And in that space is where I taught people, because I felt that it was important to give that knowledge back to individuals, because I didn't have anyone to give me the information. I had to go and learn the information. And
Yeah.
as soon as you think that you know everything about that trucking industry, you learn that there's a lot that you don't know.
Yeah.
So I definitely would recommend. Now the good part is there are a lot of mentors. Be very mindful who you reach out to. I will say that, because I always tell people this: you can't teach me how to build $1 million business, a multi-million dollar business, if you don't have a multi-million dollar business.
100%.
So you can't teach me to be successful in the transportation and logistics industry if you have not sustained success in
Yeah.
the transportation and logistics industry. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So my advice definitely would be, get with someone that is in the industry. They went through some failures. I always tell people, listen, a lot of the mistakes I've already made for you, and that's knowledgeable of the industry. And so like for us right now, a lot of people got out of the trucking industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're still in it. And so I'm very strategic. That's why everyone was spending their money, because you can make a lot of money from trucking.
Mm-hmm.
The logistics industry at a whole, I was planning my next move. So now, my trucks are at the port hauling containers.
Mm.
And so this is why I am still, above what that pay is now, when the trucking, because trucking industry, it took a big hit.
Yeah.
It did. But don't be discouraged. If you're interested in getting in the trucking industry, like I said, reach out to a mentor. You can even reach out to myself,
Mm.
and I can lead you and guide you. I don't facilitate the webinars as much anymore. I did say that's something I may start back up this spring, because now I'm teaching people how to open up CDL schools.
Yeah.
So, but I took a lot of my knowledge and I packaged it, and to be honest, and I sell it to people so they can use the same blueprint, and be able to build a business and learn how to sustain success, because everybody can make money. I tell people that all the time. It's managing and sustaining the money. We all can make money.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
very
but no,
true.
good industry to be in. And now we just added dump trucks too. So,
Wow.
oh, yeah.
Expanding. Love that.
Yeah, so that's why I say I don't have a typical day.
Day.
I'm also a two-time author.
Yes. As
Yes,
we see, right? I see in the
yes,
background.
and I'm working on my third project, so I'm excited. And I'm working this time with a New York publishing company on
Wow.
the third project. So,
Sounds like you got a lot of good things in the works this year.
Italy. So
Do you see any major shifts in the industry right now, mainly pertaining to AI in either of those industries? And how, I guess the second part of that is how has that shift or trend impacted your business, if at all?
like businesses are doing a lot of automating of things, and they are a lot of businesses are going to the AI realm, right?
Hmm.
I do feel though that there's just some positions that you're just going to have to keep a human in. Now, I know the future looks like, from what we see and what we read, that everything now moving forward, they're starting to everything is starting to be automated. I mean, you call companies now, you can't even reach anybody because you got to go through automation.
Yeah.
um, which sometimes is annoying for me, because I'm still a little old school. So I still like to just dial a number sometimes and just like call
Yeah.
somebody and get somebody on the phone. I don't want to press 9 and 8
Yeah.
and 4. I'm like yelling at the phone, like customer service. So
Me too. Look, me too.
I I just want to speak to somebody, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So So that piece I think has become very challenging. And that's a lot of things that I hear people talk about, that like you can't even call companies anymore and talk to a human without
Hmm.
going through the automated system, because they want to continuously, I feel their goal is to continuously building these automated systems so humans are not in place. You know, I called
Yeah.
Verizon yesterday, and I promise you, I hit like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different numbers, and all I kept saying was customer service. And then they want to know, well, and that's the thing, and this is a challenge. And then they want to know, well, what is your call in reference to, so I can transfer you to the right agent. But at the end of the day, guess what? It doesn't matter what agent they transfer you to. If it's not financial services, in sales, anybody can help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're continuously talking to this automated system. I think it has its pros and its cons. Like for us, we are moving forward in our future. Like right now, we are automating our payroll process. So,
Hmm.
for example, it's done manual. Right now, it's a manual process. So basically, if you contact us and you would like for us to provide payroll services to your company, we will go over the services. We do pretty much like a lot of the companies, ADP, all those payroll companies provide
Hmm.
deposits, so on and so forth. But we're doing it manually. You're having a consultation. We go over how many employees you have. We go over the pricing, blah blah blah. Right? Go over the a la carte items. Well, now, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be automated. So you're going to be able to, as an employer or a company, go on and you can actually, your rep is going to be an AI.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. So we're transforming the human piece over to technology is pretty much what we're doing. I have my fingers crossed because, we have some folks on that, like, you have some people who don't care about technology.
Yeah.
My mom is one. She hates it. Like,
Look, my mom too, you know this.
for us, when we automate the payroll process, and I'm like, okay, dang, that means I gotta release employees,
Hmm.
right? Because a lot of we have a staff of folks that are now doing these jobs.
Yeah.
Well, the automated system is going to be able to calculate your payroll. It's going to be able to process your payroll. It's going to be able to do everything from beginning to end.
Yeah.
We're going to have like a compliance management system. Again, that's something else that's manual that we're going to transition into AI,
Mm.
right? And so, but the one thing that I'm not going to allow my company to do is, I still to this day do not want people to not be able to call, and our admin who sits up front doesn't answer the phone. I still
Yeah.
want people to be able to call and talk directly to someone, because if you're utilizing our AI and our automations, our automated systems, if you have a hang up, who wants to go in the chat? Because now you got to go in the chat and and and,
Yeah.
and put in a request to speak to someone. It just happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
So some things, our client portals, and I was telling the team, we had our big team meeting. I was like, we're gonna have some clients that are gonna be a little bit pissed off because they're so accustomed to doing it manually and it works for them.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to get trained on these new AI systems that we're implementing. Um,
Yeah.
so I know we're gonna get pushback, um, but also you have a team of people like, what's gonna happen with my job,
Yeah.
right? Because if AI is doing your job, that means you're not needed per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, AI is, as much as technology it can cost you, it's still going to save you. Because we looked at the entire budget,
Hmm.
having a human versus AI.
Yeah.
Well, AI works 24/7.
Yeah.
So if you wake up at 11 o'clock at night and you want to start up, you want to start, reach out and start your payroll processing with us, you can do so. You
Yeah.
know, if you have a compliance issue, you can go online at 10 o'clock at night, and you'll have your own AI HR consultant.
Yeah.
Now I have a team full of HR consultants. So I think it has its pros and its cons, but you don't want to be left behind the eight ball either.
Yep. I agree.
So you need to be mindful of that. When it comes to like compliances and best practices and things like that, again, you'll have your own. So you'll get assigned. You go online, you sign up, and you'll get assigned your own a personal HR, human resources AI consultant, and they'll have a name and everything. I mean, you'll have a personal relationship with AI. But like I said, JK, I think it's going to be some challenges because a lot of people are still not with this AI thing. Um,
Yes.
now I'm not with the AI part where I'm starting to see, people putting people together.
Oh yeah. It's so scary on Instagram now watching videos because you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fake. Like some of these videos, some are like super obvious. Like, when they have the babies talking, I love those videos. They're funny. But like
They're hilarious.
there's other videos where it's just like, oh, I just saw this other video actually the other day where this girl, she was taking photos of like it was like a video where she was taking photos with Will Smith, like all like the old shows like the Bill Cosby, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like she was walking, but like she was taking pictures with them. And it looks like for a second I was like, she knows all of these celebrities, like, and she's walking through the room with them, and it looks so real. Like it was scary.
Now that part I don't like, and that's why and a part of me, and I know, and people can disagree. It's just my opinion. I feel like some of this stuff can be a setup because it can be utilized in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm with you. When I go on social media, I'm the same way. I'm like, is that AI? Is that real? You have people out here. We do a lot of. I do a lot of. I facilitate training for individuals to do digital digital marketing,
Yeah.
right? Well, someone from the team, my team, she works with me. She has went out and created me an AI twin. Okay. And this AI twin looks identical to me. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost scary.
Yeah.
But this AI twin is talking about digital marketing, right? And how you can make, 5 to 10K, from home. So,
Yeah.
target a lot of the work, stay-at-home moms, a lot of the individuals for me, a lot of the folks that are not currently not working. And it's a great way to make money because
Yeah.
TikTok is definitely paying people. I tell
Yeah.
people, you better hop on TikTok and you go out there and create content. And I don't care if you feel like nobody wants to see it, just continuously post it because there's something out there. There's someone out there that's going to need what it is that you're posting. You know what I mean? Um, I even teach people faceless marketing. You don't even have to show your face.
Yeah.
Create
I've seen that
great
too.
content and post. You don't even have to show your face. Like somebody like how your mom is not really don't like the camera. Well, you
Yeah.
don't have to be in the camera.
Yep.
So it has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages because you don't want nobody putting your man with no woman.
Yes.
And sitting
That's
there,
the popular one on Facebook that I see where I think someone was like, "Oh, is that your boyfriend or something?" Like they'll ask that, but it's like, no, that's someone else. Like that's just a random picture they put together, but it looks crazy. But you know what I will say I've seen here and there is that I feel like with this AI up and coming, like, as far as the security concerns and things like that, I do see some images where it's like, it'll say AI on there. Like, I think that's something that needs to be looked into is like, if you are using AI, it needs to be very clearly stated in the picture
ah,
or description. So like, and there are some websites who are already incorporating that because I was signing up for something and it was saying like, hey, if you are posting things with AI, make sure it's clearly stated. So there are already companies enforcing that, but I think that definitely should be um uh that should be very why am I losing my words right now? That should be paid attention to. There we go.
absolutely, absolutely. But well, I saw it too on social media now too. Also, so like even if you post something personally now, I saw on social media as well where if you post something personally that it's an option on it, the slide to say it's AI. Because they say if it's AI generated, they want you to let people know. Now you and I both know that
Yeah.
we're not letting people know, but there is an option. Meta does have an option for you to slide it and let people know if it's an AI generated post. We're seeing things now. I mean, people are doing whole photo shoots. People are doing
Yes.
entire. You're going to put photographers out of business. So this AI thing, unfortunately, is going to hinder a lot of humans from working. So, my advice to people now is make sure, are you in a role right now that can be automated?
Yep.
You need to start looking at that because you don't want to wait until they automate the role. You want to be already, you want to be proactive in that. And seeing what else the future looks like. Because right now, you're going to be either wealthy or you're going to be poor.
Yeah.
So you and you create your own destiny. Okay. You have to create the life that you want for yourself. Do not wait for this AI thing to blow up because it's moving rapidly.
It is. It's like, and like I said, it's just the beginning, but they're already predicting, $1 trillion business over the next 10 years, So it's just like, so even if you aren't, for viewers who are listening, like if you are not paying attention to AI right now, or even if you're not incorporating into your business right now, just at least look at the news, see where it's going, because that is important. You want to, for employees, for employers, like where is this going and how is it going to affect your business going forward?
Absolutely, because and I'm just gonna be candid. There's no way you can't be looking at AI right now because, like I said, it's moving rapidly. We even use AI for the sentiment analysis, like when people do employee feedbacks and things.
Hmm.
We use AI for that right now. And like I said, we are about to launch 3 different areas of AI in our businesses. So, like we're talking about right now, what does that look like for our employees?
Hmm.
Because I won't need 80 plus employees and almost 100 employees if we're automating and you get to get your own individual HR person, your own individual AI payroll person, right?
Yeah.
Your compliance person, your performance management person, which falls under human resources consulting. So I think if you have not looked into it, I totally agree with you on that, JK. You really need to look into it and see how it can work for your business if you are a business owner, but also look into it again if you are working for a company.
Yeah.
When I saw they had those Tesla semi tractors, the 18 wheel,
Hmm.
I said, now hold on, the truck is going to drive itself. So now that right there, I'm going to be candid. My drivers who out there, you driving trucks, you don't have to worry about if you are under the TMI global logistics, you do not have to worry about losing your job. Um, I probably it'll be 15, 20 years probably before I would even take that route.
Yeah.
You even have Waymo. You see the things that's going on with Waymo?
I have not actually. I've heard of that. Like I didn't even actually I recently heard of that like a month ago because my friends were using it and I was like, what is this?
The car, it picks you up with no driver, basically.
Yeah.
But guess what? The car's having accidents now.
Wow.
Like they said, the car went on the railroad track. This is recently. You can Google it. It went on the railroad track and it stopped. The passenger had to get out. The
Oh
passenger
my
literally got in the
gosh.
car. Another one where the Waymo driver cut somebody off. But it's a Waymo car. I'm not going to say a driver because the car
Yeah.
is driving itself. It's almost like my Tesla, where the car can drive itself,
Yeah.
basically. Um, I still think with the Waymo cars, just give me a driver. I haven't gotten there yet
Yeah.
with that technology. It's a lot. They use it a lot on the West Coast, so it's in Cali. It's in they said it's now in Atlanta.
Oh,
So I'm sure it'll make its way
yeah.
our way soon. I just don't know how I feel about getting in a car and there's nobody driving it.
Yeah.
You know how nervous I would be like.
I-
So again, technology is moving at a rapid pace, and
Yes.
it's not even going to be a issue. I mean, a option whether you like it or not. It's going to be more of how can I use it to my advantage.
Yeah. I agree. And so
So
I want to shift the conversation to like different challenges and wins that you've had in your business. So if you could solve one major challenge in your industry today, like what would it be?
in my industry,
Yeah.
the industry or within the company, because within the industry or within the company itself.
Within your company. Well,
I can say some challenge. One of the challenges that we had within our company is employee retention. Um, retaining employees. We went through a process at one point where it was like a revolving door. Um, and the challenge for that is you have to, as a small company, you have to run your company as a big company.
Hmm.
So some of the challenges came in of for me being the owner of the business, not knowing and not being as educated
Yeah.
on business. And so with that challenge, we almost went out of business because we started to get a lot of contracts. We were starting to get a lot of workload, but I didn't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have poor customer service because you're not providing service in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge and the hurdle for that is I always tell people, pay people what they're worth. Unfortunately, if you go start a business in my aspect, you don't have a lot of upfront funding, right? Um, and so you're not paying people what they're worth per se.
Yeah.
People come and they go, they come and they go. And one of the other challenges I think in the human resources industry is a lot of folks did not realize, a lot of businesses didn't realize that they needed human resources. So there was a time where how we're just now we're doing amazing now. Even during COVID, we survived COVID. But a lot of people don't think they need HR until they get in trouble. And so we didn't have a lot of funding coming in at
Yeah.
all, you know. And people don't understand when you're growing a business, you have to have a team,
Yeah.
right? But then you have to be able to afford the team. So budget wise and funding was one of the major challenges that we have. And I remember there was a time, JK, like literally I was talking about closing the doors on the business. And that was like 10 years, I think maybe I'll say 8 years after our opening. Um,
Mhm.
Another challenge is trying to do business with the federal government. I mean, we were at that for at least 5 years.
Wow.
5 years before we got our first contract.
Wow.
But what I will tell you is don't give up because unfortunately, sometimes when you on your capability statement, if you don't have any work where you previously worked with the federal government
Hmm.
under any contracts,
Yeah.
that you sometimes get overlooked.
Yeah.
And I ended up investing a lot of money in a contracting officer. So he was the one that would bid on the contracts for us. I
Mm.
was doing it myself, which I don't recommend. Now, I don't recommend it if you don't have any experience in it. So let me just say that if you have experience, great. But if you don't have any experience bidding on federal government contracts, don't waste your time. So breaking into that federal government contractor sector was very challenging. Funding for the business was challenging. And then when your business, there's peak seasons.
Yeah.
You have to survive peak seasons. And so those things that we've now overcome, they were very challenging. But I always tell folks, but whatever you do, do not give up. You have to be able to survive those things if you want to get on the other side of them. We now are considered a multi-million dollar business and one of the most prestigious human resources consulting woman-owned companies on the East Coast. So that came with, again, a lot of those challenges that we just talked about. So don't give up. Um, and
And along with that, can you share any success stories that you are proud of?
absolutely, I like those.
Yes.
But the challenges and failures is also a contribution to
Important.
to your business.
Yeah.
And so success stories, I can, oh, absolutely. Here's one that just recently happened last year. Is when we hit a certain number, our company hit a certain number, and then we became one of the fourth. We were one of the fourth on the list to make the most financial our finances. We hit a month. We hit $3.2 million within a 3 year time frame.
Wow.
Now, this didn't come from like our staffing and things like that. That came from our bottom line, like with the federal government contracts and things like that. So let's be clear with that.
Yes.
But to go to an event and see your company number 4 on the list for making
Mhm.
the most money for that year for 2024, it was definitely exciting. That was one success we had. One more. This is my favorite. an, another success story we have is we now have everything now that we're doing for the future, like far as the automations and things like that. We have won several awards. Well, I have definitely won a lot of awards. I just won the Thrive Award in leadership. I won
Wow.
the award. Our company as a whole, some of our other successes. We've been doing government contracts now for 15 years. 15 years we have been doing government contracts. And we are now number 2 on the list when it comes to our next code in obtaining government contracts.
Yeah.
So again, it came with failures to get to these successes. Um, and now it's like, guess what? We don't even really have to go and bid on things. Now they send us things because see, the bigger companies have to sub out a lot of their businesses, a lot of their contracts to smaller businesses. So we didn't have to do, we don't have to this day, and you have to get there. And this is after so many $1 million in contracts. This is after so many um, subcontractors that you work with. You have to get there. But we grossed over the last, it's gonna be 19 years. I think we was at 60. I think it was, I want to say it was, I think I wrote it down. Hold on. So over the last 3 years, we've rose 14.3 million. Now everybody knows that's not 14.3 million in my pocket, just the FYI. We're talking about the company success.
Yes, yes.
Our end of the year report over the past 10 years, and we've rose $29 million.
That's amazing.
And we are still growing.
Yeah.
So we are now, we have employees now that's been with us for 10 years. I got employees that's been with me for 5 years. Hence why I don't know how I'm going to be able to have this AI and pay these hefty salaries, but I do pay people hefty salaries because we actually make the money to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the success stories. And a lot of them to me are around the federal government and these IT contracts.
Yeah.
Because I should have added that to a challenge because Lord, that was a challenge.
Yes.
Trying to do IT placement with the federal government, oh, it was a challenge.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but we work with Bank of America, Wells Fargo. We actually just got a contract with Department of Treasury. So we actually are, I can say that we have several success stories that I'm proud of and that we're continuously growing. And everything's not even around money for me.
Yeah.
It's not. I think success, I have a successful team, and your business is only as successful as the people that you hire.
I have heard that. Yeah.
And we recognize that opportunities are limited for a lot of folks, and you have to set your company apart. So I'm looking forward to obtaining continuously success. I know we were going to do that with these new AI systems after we get them up and moving. But I'm looking forward to the future of, I don't know, just I might have my whole company just AI automated.
So you mentioned, you have to set yourself apart. What do you feel like sets your company really apart from the other companies in your industry?
We are empowered by innovation and we provide impeccable customer service. We stand on customer service and we do trainings on customer service. So everyone in the company that works at the TMI group, everyone that works for TMI Global Logistics, everybody that has helped over at Theresa Murphy Inc. We stand on, I am big on customer service. And so with that, we do customer service training. And so we won awards for our customer service because you can have a successful business, but if you have poor customer service, it's going to taint your business because how many times have you said, oh, I'm not going back there, or I'm not working with them anymore. And then our honesty.
Yeah.
So for example, everybody knows the rule. 24 hours you got to reach out to someone. If someone emailed you, if someone called you, I don't even care if you don't have the answer. So we have these things up in the office, just in case they forget.
Yeah,
The customer service, we call them our customer service guidelines, and we live by them. So I definitely think that has helped and contributed to the success that TMI Group um, has today, and all the other companies are under TMI Group. So you just have, and then we have a prison reentry program, which is also under TMI Group, job opportunities and life coaching and life skills for ex-offenders.
that's
So
amazing. That's really
that they won't allow me to do anything AI yet. Like no, like, absolutely not. So,
That's
um, so we got a lot of good stuff going on. Yeah, that you probably didn't even know.
I didn't. Like I'm learning new things today. I'm like, wow, like I'm glad. I'm glad we're able to talk about this and have dialogue about it because I had no idea. But that's amazing. Like I'm like, we need to, get offline and talk a little bit more about
Yeah, I'm
that.
30 plus years in this HR industry now.
Yeah,
Um 30 plus. I'm close to the business been open for 19. And then probably close to 40 years in human resources. So my expertise is definitely strong, and not giving up and failure not being an option has definitely contributed to the success of my business as well.
that sounds like it. No, I'm happy, like I said, that we're having this conversation. And so, before we close out, is there anything that you would like our viewers, our listeners to know? Any last advice? Because you've given a lot of golden nuggets. I hope everyone was catching them. You've given a lot of golden nuggets during this conversation, but is there anything else you would like to share or socials?
Absolutely. So first I want to just say this that close this out. Recognize that opportunities, and I tell people this all the time, are not limited. They're not. Their opportunities are not limited. People say that they are not limited. It's your unique perspective and how you look at opportunities is how you will achieve opportunities. So do not tell yourself something can't happen, something is hard. Yes, it is. It's definitely hard. And if it's easy, everyone will be doing it. That's what I tell everyone.
True.
Okay. So to refrain from setbacks and obstacles and things of that nature, I'm very goal oriented.
Hmm.
Okay. So keep your goals aligned. Do complete a goal once a week. If you do not complete the goals, set another date, start all over. But you have to have goals for you to be able to obtain success. Go and talk to a financial advisor if you're not good with money. That's the number one thing I see for individuals. That when they start making money, they think the money's theirs. That money is your company's.
Hmm.
Okay. So I wanted to put that out there. On social media, I have I'm TMI Speaks on Facebook and Instagram, and that's TMI Speaks on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Theresa Murphy Official on TikTok. And then we also have a CDL page as well on Instagram, the Driving Edge CDL Academy. So and Success Doesn't Sleep is a group that we also have on Facebook.
Got so many
Yeah, I
businesses.
know. But you know what? I tell people honestly, before we wrap up, none of this would be possible without my team. I do not take all of this. I don't take any of it for granted. It would not be possible without them. I thank them continuously. I give out bonuses um, because they are needed. So no, I didn't do all this by myself. I just started it by myself.
Yes.
Okay. So, I remember working and I was eight people. I did the marketing, the sales, the recruiting, the admin, I did it all. So I now teach people ways that they can do it where it's not as stressful. Because now they got virtual
Mm,
admin assistants now.
yeah.
You pay for the time that you need versus getting a full-time admin.
Yeah.
But nothing great is accomplished until you get started.
Yes, I agree.
So,
Well, thank
well,
you. Thank you for joining me today. Like I said, I've learned a lot. Um, um, So, thank you for joining the AI Edge for Enterprise Leaders. Today's conversation highlights that while AI technology continues to evolve rapidly, real impact comes from thoughtful leadership, clear strategy, and intentional execution. To our listeners, I hope this discussion sparked ideas you can apply within your own organization. I'm your host, Jakaya. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to continuing the conversation in our next episode. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future episodes and insights. You can also follow me on social media for more AI insights, real life moments of motherhood and entrepreneurship. I'm Mom Boss J, that's MomBossJay on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I'd love to connect with you there. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.